Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Ricardo. I'm from Porto, so welcome to my city. Hope that you are enjoying our beautiful city. If you need any type of inside tips on where the locals go, you can ask me. Although with so many tourism and so many things opening up all the time, I'm not sure if I know my own city now because there's booming everywhere, and that is great. We love to have people here. If by any chance you are treated poorly by any of the people here in Porto, they are not from Porto, from Lisbon. They are from Lisbon. We have a bit of a feud with Lisbon, yeah. It's normal, like the two big cities have a bit of a feud. So, I have two objectives for my 25 minutes here with you, only two. The first one is that this is fun. Everybody likes fun things, yeah? Does any of you prefer boredom and boring talks? No? Yeah, great. So, okay, you? Okay, yeah. So I will send you a PowerPoint presentation with 600 slides in a type 3 Arial letter. I not only think that fun is appropriate in a talk, I think it's absolutely necessary because we learn more when we are having fun, when we are playing, when we are joking. And so please bear my English because I'm not a native, it's not my native language. If you have any doubts that what I'm saying is like fun or like a joke, please assume that it's always a joke and just laugh, okay? It will help me a lot on this. So my second objective is that we have a practical learning experience at the end of my talk so that you can take away something with you that you can apply immediately or in some other situation. Do you like these two objectives? Okay. Yes. If you don't like it, you can leave now because I got nothing else. That's it. So, I was talking about the most critical skills. If you were here yesterday, you heard me talk about communication, and of course we are going to talk about communication. Is the second thing that we do most. The first one is breathing. As a human, is the second thing that we do most. Even if we say we don't want to communicate, this is communicating. So, we are always doing that. So imagine if, like an alien, study the human race and look at the importance of communication, he would think that we would be a master of it, right? He would think those humans must be learning about communication every step of the way because it's how they find their soulmate, it's how they educate their kids, it's how they convey their message, it's how they sell, it's how they lead, so they must be learning all the time, and they must be taking courses, and they must be practicing all the time, right? Wrong. Most of the people, like in the breathing, just take it for granted. And my hypothesis is that we do that because we can survive on our current communication skills, right? I see all of you are surviving. Please don't die now, because it will ruin my lecture. So yeah, we can survive. The question is, are we here just to survive? Are we on this earth, on this conscience, just to get by? I believe that we are here to make an impact. I believe that we are here to make an impact. Some of us make an impact on the world. Maybe some of us want to make an impact on our communities. Maybe some of us want to make an impact on our family. But we are here to make an impact. Would you like to make an impact on the world, on our family? Yeah, of course. All of us need to do that. And this guy wanted to make an impact on the world. Who knows this person? Everybody, anyone knows this one? Yeah, no. This one is an Austrian Hungarian physician, a doctor, that lived in the 1800s. And he was trying to make an impact on the world. He had an idea, an experiment that would literally change the world, and his invention, his experiment is responsible for half of us being here. And so imagine that in 1840, he was in Vienna, Austria, doing a conference for the Doctor Association of Austria at that time. So imagine that you are there, like he was, in the public, just like this one, maybe a few more people, maybe a little less. And when he presented his idea, he was laughed off stage. He was not just booed, he was ridiculed for his idea. And so what was the problem? It's communication, of course. And when people think that the communication has gone wrong, usually they have 4 things that they see that maybe it was that 4 things that gone wrong with the communication. The first one was he wasn't an authority on that matter, right? So maybe he didn't know what he was talking about. Well, Ignaz Semmelweis, the name of this Hungarian doctor, was an authority. He was a young doctor, but then again in the 1800s everybody was young, right? When the life expectancy is 50, nobody gets to be old. So he was a young doctor, but a brilliant student. He worked in the best hospital in Vienna, maybe just one hospital, but it was the best one. So he was a recognized physician on that area. So he had the authority to speak on what he was talking about. Then the second thing is, maybe it wasn't proven. It was just a theory, but it was. He did an experiment. He was running experiments for 2 years in the General Hospital of Vienna with this exact experiment, and the results were amazing. So it was proven. He had data. Then you might think that the problem wasn't important enough. It wasn't significant enough. And what was the problem? He was dealing with lowering the rate of an infection that happened to women when they were giving birth. They caught an infection that developed into a fever that was highly deadly. More than 50% of the women giving birth died at birth, and the child suffered with it. So I think this is important, right? It's significant. Then you might think of the 4th thing, that is, it wasn't simple. It was a very complex thing and people couldn't understand. Well, let me share with you what was his idea. His idea was washing your hands. Yes, like Sonia is saying there. His idea was washing your hands. You see, in the 1800s, people didn't believe what they didn't saw, and they didn't saw germs. And what he found out was that in that hospital, the doctors that delivered the birth also gave classes and were a lot of times doing autopsies and showing students how they do. And so they then go to give birth to a child. And his idea was met with ridicule. You see, your idea can be as simple, it can be proven, it can be impactful, it can be powerful, it can be an authority, and still you cannot create an impact if you do not master this communication. That is why this is such a critical skill. It's not a soft skill, it's a critical skill. This is an essential skill. What is the result when you don't master? This is the result. And what was the result for Ignaz Semmelweis? I think he was the first one to get cancelled because he was fired from the Vienna hospital. The hospital reverted the experiment he was doing, and the infection rates got up again. He then moved to his hometown in Pest, in Budapest, in Hungary, went to a maternity to work, implemented the same thing, got the thing back down. So again proven. He published books, he published studies, and he was always met with ridicule. This guy is crazy, you have to be put away. And he did. About 20 years later, he died in a mental institution from burnout and depression. His idea could have saved millions and millions if he only could communicate in the proper manner. It was more than 50 years later that a Scottish surgeon picked up on his process and tried to push forward again with a lot of things, but nowadays it's like normal, right? Nowadays. Remember COVID? What was the first thing they said? Wash your hands. So nowadays but it could have saved millions in that time. So I have for you a quick diagnosis, yeah? So show of hands, who here has gone through this following situation? You have said something over and over and over again, and people didn't listen. And then somebody from the outside came in, said the exact same thing, and people listened and thought it was a great idea. Not only with your kids, with other people too, right? Who here has been in front of your perfect customer, your perfect client, and you said, this person is absolutely perfect for what I have to offer, and somehow they didn't understand it or have that? Yeah. Which one have gone through a speech, like a conference, talked with someone, and by the end said, well, I think I could have conveyed my message with more impact. I think I could do a lot better. Yeah. So, what I have here for you is 3 magical keys. And these 3, it's under commas, the magical, and I will explain to you why that it's under commas. But these magical keys are basically the synthesis of all that I've been studying and working on communication, and that can be applied to any communication situation. So it can be applied in your family, it can be applied to one-to-one, one-to-many, in a speaking situation, in a call. It can be applied everywhere. So these are the most basic tools that if you master, you will be able to elevate your influence, your communication, and your impact. Okay? First, a little bit about myself. So I've told you I'm Ricardo, I'm from Porto. I just recently had my 30th birthday. It was in 2010 that I had it. So some of you are doing the math, right? Thank you. So yeah, I'm 45. I have 4 kids. I have four children. My oldest one is turning 18 this October. And whenever I say this, I pause for a little bit so that the information can sink in. I'm not sure if you have kids in that part of their life, but sometimes it's hard. And by sometimes, I mean every day. I have another one of 12, a little boy of 11, and my youngest one is Mafalda of 5-year-old. So a lot of communication going on in the house, sometimes more than I wish for. Sometimes all I wanted was a little bit of silence and, and no communication for just a little bit. Yeah. And I don't have any dogs, sorry, Sonia. I have almost a cat. Almost, yeah, because it was a rescued cat and it doesn't have the tail, so I measure it's like 0.97 of a cat. It doesn't amount to 1 cat. So. And my journey of communication started not at a young age. At a young age, I'm not a shy person. I don't know if you have noticed it by now, but I'm not exactly shy. But I have shyness in me. It's just that I found a strategy when I was very, very young. When I was a little kid, I found out that I could get away with a lot if I just cracked a joke or made something funny, made other people laugh, right? I could get away in most of awkward situations, social situations, or any misbehavior. And so, when a kid does something that works, what does he do after? More of it, right? And so I did more of it. And when I got to school, it helped me a lot because my name, my surname is Peixe, which in Portuguese means fish. It's the word for fish. So you can see how teased I was about the other kids about my name. I always wore glasses. I have a bit of a cross-eyed, but if you think that I'm not looking at you, please assume that I do, okay? So it will be much more comfortable for me. It's for me or for the one in the back, for both of you. I'm always looking at you, okay? So I got these, you know kids can be very mean, right? Yeah, you just get made fun of for 2 things. anything and everything, right? And so I found out that in school, my situation, my ability to crack a joke would make that they made fun of me less because I could respond. And so it worked out perfect. And if you do the same thing very often, you get really good at that. And soon enough, I was the class clown. Yeah? All of you had a class clown in your classes? Yeah. Maybe some of you were the class clown. Yeah, some of you were the class clown. I was the class clown. And being the class clown is great. You have friends, people want to hang out with you. Life is good when you're the class clown. Life is really good up until the moment that you want to be taken seriously. It's a great life just until that moment. Because when you are going to, you want to be taken seriously, nobody listens to you because you're the class clown. And that's when I started really working on my communication, because I knew that if I wanted to do other things with my life, just cracking jokes wouldn't do it. Although I love humor, I love cracking jokes, I think that fun is the way to go, but we need a little bit more, okay? And so what I'm going to share with you is the things that allowed me to be, for the past 18 years in this coaching, training, speaking events, speaking business, sometimes talking with a group like a small group, like this reunion here, or just a big group, like sometimes in bigger settings, 2,000 people and more. So what I'm going to distill here is that 3 magical keys that from all of my experience I think are the best. And why do I put like magical between commas? Because magic does not exist. And when I say this, usually the crowd goes, oh, you were distracted, I'm going to say it again. Magic doesn't exist. Yes, that, that was what I was going for. So, and what exists is illusion, right? Illusion exists. And magic, after all, if we think about it, it's a process. A process that if we follow all of the steps and master the steps of the process, produces magic. I really like watching magic. Do you like watching magic? Do you like seeing magic? Yeah. The first one that I really got caught up was David Copperfield. You remember David Copperfield? Yeah. I know your age now. If you remember David Copperfield. David Copperfield is a fantastic magician. And one of the things that you can never find out how he did the tricks, but if you look at the process, you can create the same things. And in communication, there is no magic. There is no magic formulas, nothing that works every time. But if you work on the process, you can produce magic. Let me give you an example. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So I have here a packet of cards, right? And I'm going to ask Sonia I'm going to go through the cards like this, and Sonia is going to point to a card that she wants to select it. And don't let me influence you in any way, because sometimes magicians are like that. Okay, so don't let me influence you. You can choose any card you want before the packet ends. I have on time. Okay, this one?
Yes.
Sure, this one? Okay, so you can take it out. I'm going to turn away. You can show it to everybody, not to me. Don't say it out loud. Okay. So everybody got it? Yes. Yes? Okay, so put it away so that I don't see it. And now, as a magician, you have different ways to find out what the card was, right? So first of all, she thinks I didn't influence her, but maybe I did, you know? If you are good enough, you can let people think that it was their idea, but it was your idea. I'm not that good, so I don't do that. I have no idea what the card is. But sometimes magicians do some other thing that is like reading the mind, right? So I'm going to ask Sonia to think of the card right here, right? Mm-hmm. And to see the suit of the card, and to see the number of the card, and to see the dots. I don't do that also. I don't read mine, so I can't do it anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Sonia to put the card here in the middle, and you have all of the cards facing one direction, her card also facing one direction. The easiest way to find out the card is through magic. You just snap your finger, and now her card, instead of being turned this way, is turning this way. So when I open the cards, her card is going to be the only one on that side. So if you see this, there is only one card, which is her card. You see it? Okay. Is this your card, Sonia? Yeah? Have a round of applause, sir. Yeah? Just in case this doesn't work, all of the cards are the four of hearts. So always have a fallback strategy. In case this doesn't work, I'm gonna... But this way is faster, okay. So like in magic, there is no magic, right? There is no magic, there's only process. But if you master the process, the result that you produce is magic. And when I say there is no magic, there is actually no 100% magic formula. Right now, in my life, me that studies communication for a long time, that I'm passionate about this, I have a very important person in my life that I'm not being able to communicate with her. And I wish I had the magic formula to do that, but I don't. I just have one strategy, that is to learn more and to try harder and to try different ways in order to get to her. So there is no magic formula. What I'm going to teach you is just something that might work a lot of the times. So imagine that you can work these three things 90% of the times. That whenever you talk to a customer, 80% of the times you get the yes. Whenever you talk to a family member, 80% of the times you get to convey your message. That you make an impact not on the 30 people that are here, but on 25. Would that be a great result? I think so. Maybe not. Maybe I would like to get to the 30 people, but well, let's try. So, have I created enough curiosity about these three keys so that I can, yeah? Have you, Chris? Okay, so first key is, who roots for the bad guys? Who roots for the bad? So whenever you're in the news channel, you see like a crime committed, like a robbery or a murderer, who roots for the robber? The criminal, no? Yeah, except if it's on Netflix, right? If it's Sopranos, or Breaking Bad, or Dexter, or Money Heist, then La Casa de Papel, yeah, right? Then you root for them. Why? Why can we root for a criminal that it's on television, on a TV show? Because they can create a connection with you. And we have talked about yesterday a lot about connection, empathy, compassion, as Sandeep put it. So that sense of being connected with someone is essential to communication, to influence. You only buy things from persons that either you like and or you trust. If you don't trust them, if you don't like them, it's really hard to be influenced by them. Maybe you were in a situation where somebody said something that you agreed, but you didn't like that person. And your brain went, I'm not sure if I agree with this, because I don't like him. So creating this connection, this bond, is the first thing that we need to do in order to have any type of influence, okay? Key number 2, what sticks more in your memory? How do we get to learn something? Do you find out that it's more, that you can create more influence in your life if you find the answer to something, or if somebody tells you the answer? Are you more willing to do something that you thought up, that you think, well, this is a good idea, or if somebody tells you that is a good idea? If you think so, right? Nobody likes to be bossed around. You like to think that you have autonomy. You like to think that you come up with the answers. Sometimes you need help, but if somebody helps you get there, your influence will be much greater. So the key number 2 is to ask good questions. And Some of you are coaches, consultants, trainers, mentors, and that is, for me, the number one tool of a coach, of a mentor, of somebody in this industry. Because if you only give answers, you're setting yourself up to failure, because your answers are not going to work in their life. They are your answers. But if you ask good questions, they find maybe a lot better answer than what you have, just directing with those answers. Okay? And key number 3 is the oldest trick in the book. And I mean book in the sacred way. What is the oldest form of communication that us humans have for thousands and thousands of years? Before there was writing, there were speaking. Stories, right? Stories. So, you are as good as your stories can make you good. And it's the oldest trick in the book because it works. It's the best way to convey a message. It's the best way to convey a moral of the story. It's the best way to make somebody feel, think, and know something. And do you like history? Like history lessons? Do you like it? Yeah. So a lot of us like history, but a lot of us didn't like our history teachers. Why? Because sometimes they tried really hard not to tell any story, just to tell facts and numbers about history. And nobody likes to remember the facts and numbers. What we like is the story behind. And so, if you become a great storyteller, then you will become a great communicator, and you will have a regular impact on the people. That's all my time. Thank you very much. Yeah. Just adding one thing, I have an ebook on these 3 secrets that I talked to you about. This goes to my Instagram page, but I have an ebook which is in Portuguese. But I translated it to English, so if any of you, especially for this conference, I translated it to English, so if any of you want it, just come by to me and I will send it, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was good. I know that